Hi there, everyone. Laurie Baracco here, and I'm looking forward to sharing some messages from Spirit from my card deck of the week. And I'm going to give everyone a moment or two to receive the notification that I'm live. And I did want to say this is that whenever you are tuned in, whenever you see this message, whether it's today, December 6th, 2020, or March 24th, 2022, that this is your message from Spirit. It's a message for you to pay attention to acknowledge, and therefore the message is timeless. So it doesn't matter whether you see it today on December 6th, or if you see it 5 months from now or 2 years from now. It's a message for you, and take whatever resonates. And if it doesn't resonate, then it's not your message. It's that simple. Okay, I see I do have a few friends here who have tuned in, and I'm going to take a moment to set my prayer of intention with Spirit. Good morning, Lisa. Take a moment to set the space, as I always do when I ever do any type of spiritual work, meditation, prayer, manifestation, ceremony, ritual, or psychic readings. I take a moment to center myself and to connect with Spirit. So let's take a moment, and I call upon our higher selves, our guides. I call upon my higher self, my guides, my wisdom council, to assist me with sharing messages, with bringing messages through as an oracular prophetess, to assist those who are connected with today's messages. And may the messages bring forth some element of healing, clarity, wisdom, and quite possibly validation. And so it is. Alrighty, hello, hello, hello. So this week I'm going to be, this segment, I'm going to be working with a new deck that we have here at both Mystical Moons storefronts and in the online store. It is the Mediumship Training Deck by John Holland and Lauren Rainbow. All right, so what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to have 3 piles, 1, 2, 3 piles of cards. And then I'm going to have a crystal on each card. And I would love for you to take a moment to tune in to see which one resonates. So I'll guide you through it. All righty, remember, whenever you're tuning in, that this message is timeless for you. So I'm going to select 1. Whoop, I think I selected 3 already. 1, 2, 3. There you go. All right, so here we go. We have piles 1, 2, and 3. Actually, I feel like I want to do this first. Have the words and the stone. So here we go. Here's pile 1, and it's connected. Or actually, I'm just going to do it this way. Hold on. They're telling me to do it a different way. Here's pile 1 with this crystal. Here's pile 2. 1, 2, 3. So which crystal is calling to you? There's also another element to the message with the crystal. So here's pile 1, message 1, or card 1, because it's not really a pile if it's 1. Here's 1, right? Number 2, and number 3. Whoop. Number 3. So take a moment. Feel into the energy. Which one called you in, pulled you in, or you got a yes, or that's the one? Was it 1, 2, or 3? Okay, take a moment. And I really did not look at the cards. And so for me, I have right away number 2 is the one that is calling me in. Okay. And so here we go. If you chose the first crystal, first and foremost, before I even look at the card, this crystal is sardonyx, or some people say sardonyx. And sardonyx has the energy of working with relationships, with all types of relationships. First and foremost, I would say romantic partnerships, or well, now they're saying any type of partnership where there are 2 parties. And I'm going to say For this message, for this timeless message, this has to do with you and another person. So this crystal is helping you with bringing in harmony and balance, and to help you be more responsible for your part in your partnerships, right? And to help you see things more clearly, and how you can fine tune your interactions with other people. Okay, so this is not just about having the other person be more agreeable and so on and so forth. This is for you to help you fine tune who you are as a partner. You are the other party in the partnership. So it could be romantic, it could be business, it could be family, it could be so many different dynamics, but this is really between two people, you and the other person. So sardonyx, SARDARNOX, sardonyx. You can look that up. But we do sell this online as well. So sardonyx. So the card that goes with it, the energy is psychic journaling. So before I look at the message, the meaning on here, I am going to share intuitively what I am receiving. And this is the first time I'm working with these cards, so let's see what happens. So if you chose number 1, we have the sardonyx, which helps us with relationships. And this is, the card is the energy, the frequency is psychic journaling. Here is the card. Again, this is the Mediumship Training Deck by John Holland and Lauren Rainbow. And so when we work with automatic writing, when we enter in a journal or a diary, we are bringing through the messages of our higher self. And in the journaling, the idea is to not censor what comes through, to allow the steady stream of consciousness to move through you from spirit matter through you to pen and paper or typing. I prefer writing, but hey, some people prefer to take notes and put them on their phone. However you do it, just allow the messages to move freely through you. You can ask questions and then go into the space of answering, channeling the message down to paper or typing it through. And the key is to not allow yourself to have the negative ego to come in and to take over the messages, to not second guess what's coming through, to allow that steady stream of consciousness come through, to help you understand more so about yourself. And when we don't try to censor it, that's where the magic and the beauty is. And that's how we learn to trust our own intuition as well. Okay, so here is the message from the deck. Let me just see if there's anything else that Spirit wants to bring through. So Spirit is saying that there's a lot of unresolved stuff that's going on within you, and it's been a while since you have tapped into your higher self in that higher self channel. And it's time for you to sit down, to shut out the outside world and allow yourself to receive in this way. And if you haven't done this before, it's time to give it a try. And of course, create the space as you do so. Try to do so where you won't be distracted. When you're in a decent frame of mind, maybe light a candle, have a crystal nearby, and be somewhere where you're comfortable, and allow yourself to maybe even write some questions down or allow the steady stream of consciousness to move through you. So here's the message on the card. Psychic information as well as inspirational wisdom and guidance from Spirit can show up at any time or anywhere. When you're developing your spiritual abilities, it's a great practice to create your own psychic journal, which is something I most certainly do encourage people to work with. It will not only chart your progress, but it will become a teaching manual in itself. You may have several journals in different places, so that no matter where you are, there will always be one nearby for you to record those intuitive flashes, impressions, or your dreams. Your journal can be a valuable resource for you in the future to monitor your progress. Whenever you feel an unexpected thought or impression come to mind, make it a natural extension to add to your journal. Draw pictures or symbols that are impressed upon you, and write down affirmations that work for you, as well as your own personal goals and aspirations. Keeping a journal can be invaluable as you begin to notice how you're recognizing and differentiating psychic or mediumistic information from your own thoughts. Don't get hung up on whether you were right or wrong. It's making the effort that's important and will have the greatest value as you discover how your psychic self receives information. When you commit to creating and using your psychic journal, you're actually making a commitment to the unfoldment of your mediumship development, as well as your spirit and yourself. As you look back at your journal, you'll hopefully realize it wasn't the destination that was important, but the journey that truly mattered. So, relationship with so you will be able also to be able to expand upon your relationships, and it could be your relationship with someone on the other side too, and your own relationship with how you receive psychic information. Alrighty, so if you chose number 2, which is the one that I chose, it's a citrine crystal. And citrine, a lot of times people work with citrine for abundance. It really is a very powerful solar plexus crystal, which helps us with willpower. And it helps us strengthen that solar plexus area where a lot of we as empaths feel the energy, and it tends to become overloaded and out of whack. And it does help to bring abundance into our lives, because if we're strong in our will, we have strong discipline, and we know where it is that we're wanting to go as a powerhouse, it helps us with that manifestation as well. So the card for number 2 is reaching out to spirit. So the message that I'm receiving before I take a look at the message on the card is that there are untapped resources within you and within me, that spirit is saying these untapped resources are just kind of going to waste. You would save a lot of headache, heartache, and stress if you were to connect and align yourselves with your divine spirit, with your higher self, and possibly with some crossed over loved ones who want to communicate with you. So more meditation time, more dialogue, more paying attention to the signs around. And I'm also hearing to not be afraid to ask for help, to ask for validation, to ask for clarity. So asking and intentionally setting that intention to connect with spirit, meaning crossover loved ones, guides, and or your psychic self. So creating more of a routine to do so. So here's the message. So reaching out to spirit. Communication always benefits and enhances any relationship, and that includes the one with spirit. Many people believe that the only time to connect with spirit is when you want to link in with those on the other side. In fact, the divine source, spirit, the divine source is there for you at any time. At different times throughout the day, try to stop for a few minutes and reach out with your mind to spirit. It could simply be to reach out, to connect, to say a quick hello, or it could be a good time to ask a more specific question. You might choose to ask a question about a situation that is happening in your life, a story you saw or heard on the news, or something that's happening elsewhere in the world. Equally, it could be a time that you seek guidance. Sometimes the response may come right away, and sometimes it might take a little while. The answer can and will come to you in many different ways, such as a sign, a symbol, part of a dream, or even a synchronistic event. Working with spirit is very much a partnership, and no matter how or what form of communication takes place, it's a vital part of the process. When you take the time to reach out to spirit, you're attuning yourself to a higher vibration or frequency similar to a radio signal. Each time you connect with spirit, the stronger the connection becomes. Alrighty, so don't be afraid, don't be shy, make it a priority to connect with the divine. Alrighty, and the last card, pile 3, if you chose the third one, this crystal is angelite, and angelite helps us work with the throat chakra. It helps us with spirit communication. It helps us to connect with our guides, with all of the unseen elements of spirit, as well as it helps us to speak, to allow spirit to speak through us with our communication as well. And so if you chose number 3, it is be of service. Be of service. So let's see what I'm getting intuitively about this one. So being of service. So how can you give back? And what is your role within the collective? So each one of us has an important role to play in the collective consciousness, with all people, places, and things, and um, living beings, animals and plants, and so on and so forth. And so we all have a unique gift, a unique role in how we are to use our gifts to uplift others or to add to the raising of the vibration and consciousness of this planet. So, what is your superpower? So I'm hearing the questions to ask yourself, what are your superpowers? What is it that you do that helps others? And this doesn't mean that we need to just give it away. It doesn't mean we donate all our money and our time to do so, but there is a role that each one of us plays to be a good doobie. How can you be of good service? And the way that that can look, it could be that you give someone a compliment, a heartfelt compliment. You can smile at someone and wish them a good day. It could be that your role of service is to always try to end things on a positive note. Like I'm thinking of Lisa. That's one way that she does that. She's always positive. She's always trying to end on a high note, right? And sometimes it's a stretch to try to be able to do that, but that is one of her gifts, and that's one way she uses her light and her abilities as a light being to support others on this path, on this planet. So I am hearing Spirit encouraging us to look a little deeper within ourselves and acknowledge the gifts, the passions, the shining light aspects that we possess, and utilizing them to give back. And how do you do that? How do you support the planet? Right? It could even be environmental too. I'm hearing it could be that you bless water. It could be that you pick up trash on the side of the road. How do you serve the light as a light worker? That's a good question. And here is the message on this card. When you are called to awaken the medium within, it's also a calling to devote your life to a work of service. It's truly an honor and a blessing to serve Spirit. If you hold an open and pure heart, the blessings from Spirit in return will be bountiful and endless. The path of the medium should only be seen as a blessing and never a burden. The journey of development is not always an easy or rewarding one, but it is in serving Spirit from your heart. You'll be blessed with grace and support along your path. A Spirit will always be there for you. If this card is calling you, then it's time to start practicing what it means to be of service. Take time today to offer a random act of kindness, to volunteer for a cause that speaks to your heart, or simply give a hug to someone you feel that needs one. Of course, these days we have to make sure that it's appropriate to do so, right? And serving, how can you be of service to those who are here in the living world? You're serving those in the spirit world as you serve those here in the living world. And as you serve those here, you're serving those in spirit. What a profound statement. Remember that the main goal for Spirit is to bring healing and love and light to the living. The spirit world will always love and support your compassion and kind work in the most unusual ways. Look for the beautiful blessings and signs from Spirit with gratitude, and as it's Spirit's way to let you know you're moving in the right direction. All righty. So hopefully the messages resonated. If they didn't resonate right away, it may not be your message, or it might make sense a little bit later. All right, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. I look forward to seeing you soon. I'm Laurie Baracco, and as I said, this message is timeless, so it has no expiration date on it. Be well. Many blessings.